Buongiorno Alfa Romeo fans. So back on May 17th, I did this review on the red car by Kyosho. It's an Alfa Romeo 8C. And on that review, I got a comment by a channel Diecast Addict to try out the Minichamps version because I was really let down by the first generation Alpha collection. It's got big wheel gaps there. These wheels aren't really the ones I would want on this vehicle. I really want the wheels like that one, which is on this, I think it was a 4C. Also by Kyosho. So I went ahead and ordered the Minichamps version, and we're going to compare the two. Let me get this out of the way because it makes a lot of noise. So Diecast Addict, if you're watching, I think you need to do some reviews. You don't have any videos, but your channel is called Diecast Addict. It's not hard to do. Just get your mobile phone, a stand, and start talking. Alright, well anyways, this showed up in the mail today. Minichamps I'm familiar with because a long time ago I had a 1/12 scale McLaren F1 by these guys. And unfortunately, it got paint rash. That was an expensive model. I sold it off, but it was a bit of a letdown. Even the expensive models get paint rash. Alright, so let's see. Minichamps 64, Paul's Model Art, and official licensing. I've never owned a Minichamps in this scale, so I was just curious what the box looks like. And now we know. Just try to push it out there. Come on. There we go. So, a crystal case, and I actually like the smaller ones. Oh boy, look out. That thing is super loose. So, you better hold the base if you pull this out of a box, or it's going to end up on the floor, and you'll be ordering a second model really quick. So, let's get this out of the way. But what I was saying, I like the smaller box cases if you want to keep them displayed, because you can display more vehicles. So we got Alpha 8C Spider, one of 5,040 pieces. I didn't know it was limited. Alright, so there's, in the real world, 500 of these Spiders were made, and it first came out in 2009. They're made in Modena, Italy, and Maserati is in charge of manufacturing these. It's all part of the parent company, you know, Ferrari, Fiat, all that stuff. So 2 screws were holding this together. That's not common. The sale price of these is quite high. I was not aware. These things are priced at 200,000 euros or 300,000 US dollars, of which only 35 went to America. So that's a freaking expensive 2-seater. Alright. It only has a fabric top as well. Granted, it's electric, but I would have hoped it would have had a hard top, like even a Miata has a hard top nowadays. The windshield frame is made of carbon fiber to help try and maintain a 50-50 weight distribution. It's powered by a Ferrari V8 engine of 4.7 liters, making around 450 horsepower. And for a convertible, this thing is supposed to be able to get up to 180 miles per hour, probably with the roof up. But that seems really fast for a fabric-topped convertible. You know, it must buff it around so much. I'd be scared of it tearing off and, you know, ripping off a toupee or something. Not that I wear one, but it'd be funny to see. Okay, well, you've seen the photos now. I could not find an image of this car with these wheels. You notice these spokes, you know, there are not as many spokes on this guy as there are in the photographs. So I'm not sure if this wheel actually existed. I would only assume it does, and I just didn't have any good luck finding these. But it's another case of getting an Alpha without the wheels I prefer. But, oh well, let's continue on. Let's get a better light angle and take a closer look at this guy. My first 64 scale Minichamps. So reflective. Okay, well, the wheels, I don't know if they're real or not, but they look pretty darn good. There's some printing in the center cap. Although it's weird, I wouldn't say those are Alpha colors. Or what's going on? It's gold, black, green, red. So I guess they are trying to mimic the Alpha badge, but they're surrounding it with black and gold, which is throwing me off a little bit. Or maybe that's yellow. But it looks like there's a brake rotor back there. And there actually is I think, no, I thought that was a caliper, but it's not. But anyways, the rotor is part of the wheel, so it spins with it. But I think it's alright. Anyway, still better than having no rotor. And it looks like you got some like bolts here around the perimeter of the wheel, so that's pretty interesting design. Okay, so what I like about this, which is more accurate than the Kyosho, is you have a silver trim surrounding a black grill or whatever there, and then the orange blinker, so that's all printed on. This red paint is alright, but I kind of feel like it's not very smooth. I almost thought it was orange peel, paint bubbling, but maybe not. It's just not the smoothest paint out there. I don't know when this thing was made. No, it says it's. No, this is not. I think this is supposed to be the year the car came out, because Wikipedia says it started production in 2009. It's nice to see the scale, the brand. It doesn't show when this copyright was done. It's got slick tires, which I suppose is alright. It's riveted together, so that could be problematic if you want to customize or, do a wheel swap or fix any problems. Okay, the back end, we got some silver chromed plastic exhaust tips, a little black in there, some silver print, not sure what those are. Oh, on the real car there's a white backup light and probably a red reflector. Okay, opening there is plain. So now let's see how this looks. So that's a little bit off the mark, and it's also rotated. But this says 8C Spider, so that's not bad. I think the taillights look pretty good. There's silver trim around some transparent red there. Oh, the exhaust tips, they look like, even though there's flat surface, they printed black on them to kind of simulate the opening. Alright. This side, yeah, again, it's like, is paint rash developing? I don't know. It's not the smoothest paint. Okay, but no major problems, I guess. It's just it's not the best, I guess. Alright, so now we got some chrome here. I think this is a separate piece of plastic. Yes, it is. And then it leads to this thing, which is supposed to be like a fog light or a running light of some sort. That feels like it's plastic as well. It's painted black for the grill. This is nice. This is like a black inside of a chrome piece again. And that logo is going to be the same quality. What is this though? It's like something on the chin spoiler. This chin spoiler is part of the base plate. It's just, maybe that's where it's trimmed off the sprue. The molding sprue. Okay, the headlights though look pretty good. You got clear covers and then some sort of, silver paint, and the way that clear is molded, it looks like you got two lights there. Although there should be a third. The real car has 3 lights. This only looks like it has 2. So that's not very accurate. Again, the paint, that is paint rash right there. It has to be. So this is probably an old model. So the interior is pretty nice. Oh, and actually, you got a reflective sticker. It's a real mirror. Look at that. That's pretty great. But yeah, this interior looks pretty good. You got a lot of silver paint in there. It's well applied. A little black in the vents as well. Oh, instrument cluster. I can't zoom in any further than this. Multicolored instrument cluster. So that's a great interior. I don't know if the shift here, I can't even get my finger in there, but I don't know if this is flat. I think it's supposed to sit flatter than that. It looks like it's in first gear, but I also see an air gap right there, so I think it just wasn't installed properly. Okay, well. So, in summary, I would say it's a nice model. But at today's eBay prices, I guess it depends. It depends on how much you can get this for. I didn't pay an exorbitant amount of this fuel filler cap filled in with elaborate paint, but the shipping cost did make it an expensive model. So there's also some paint rash here. So, but I now know what a old Minichamps is like, and it seems like Minichamps is, they're still alright. It's just And by today's modern diecast standards, like Inno 64 or LCD, this is a little bit lacking. The fact that there's no third headlight in there bothers me. And then the logo printing itself, I think, could be a little bit better. And the exhaust tips, they're not hollow at all. They're just flat surfaces. So those would be my nitpicks. Is it still a good model? Yes, I say it is. And the question is now, is it better than Kyosho? Starting with the headlights. See, I think the Kyosho does have 3. It looks like there's 3 headlights in this Kyosho. Yeah, see, you got 1, 2, 3. So the headlights are better on the Kyosho, but this is much worse. This is just painted silver, and that's a painted silver dot. Whereas the Minichamps, you know what? Let me get the tray of comparison out. I should have thought of that earlier. I apologize. Okay, so also the ride height is quite different. The Kyosho is way too high, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure Minichamps has it more correct. But this detail is just better. This lip and the lights there, it's a separate piece of chrome plastic. Granted, it's a little thick. The line of this is actually more accurate to the real car. It's much thinner on the real car. But this has, the nice texture in the grille, so I like that. Whereas the Kyosho is just flat. But then I like the center grille of this more. So a good and bad of each, it seems. I naturally like the real reflectors on this. Kyosho blister packs don't have any sort of mirror reflection. Now the rear end. I think the Kyoshos are like painted chrome red, whereas this actually has translucent red. But the ring around the Kyosho is much thinner, which I think is more accurate to the real car. This ring's too big, and or the light itself looks too small. Now you'll see the Kyosho badge is far more detailed, right? It almost reads Alfa Romeo, whereas the Minichamps, the roundel is not good. But it is nice to see that it says 8C Spider there as a separate process. The Kyosho does have 3-dimensional exhaust tips. They're just not painted at all. This says paint, but they're not 3-dimensional. Okay, so there's good and bad to each. I guess it's more of a 50-50 split. This interior, though, is definitely better. Kyosho's just plain black all inside there, so... another thing I don't like about the Kyosho is this side vent. I don't see any silver trimmer on the outside, and although there is like a black mesh pattern printed on there, it doesn't look black from a far distance. It looks like a gray. There's a little red shining through, and that's what's screwing up the visual effect. Whereas on the real car, it's definitely just black. Kyosho would have been better just painting that solid black than putting this fine net texture on it. But now I'm noticing the Kyosho has the Pininfarina there. I think that's Pininfarina. Or I don't know. There's some sort of text there. I'm not sure what that says. Maybe it says Alfa Romeo or something. But Minichamps doesn't seem to have anything on the side of theirs. So... okay, well, it's interesting. That's why I have 2 different models to compare the two. I still kind of wish they both had the wheels that are on this 4C. This is what I think about, these 5 holes here. Yeah, that's a 4C. So, alright, well, I'll leave it to you guys to decide if you think you want to spend the money on this thing. I already have, so I'm stuck with this guy. But I like it enough that I don't want to sell it off again on eBay. I think I'll keep this one for a while. I think maybe Kyosho has come out with a later version. Maybe it's the convertible they have. that's in a more recent Alfa collection. This is from Alfa Romeo Collection 1, and that's why I think it has a lot of problems. But Kyosho definitely got better with their blister packs because, I mean, this one's just better all in all, this 4C. So maybe someday I'll get this Spider by Kyosho, and we'll see the advancements Kyosho made and see if it's better than this. But I'm not sure. There's a lot of other models I want to get, so that might take some time. Alright guys, well thanks for watching again, and arrivederci.